Yep. You already know who it is, man. It's King Ade with the Wizards Review. And man, tough loss tonight. You know what I mean? Played the Jazz in Utah. And you know, we in our history, from what I can recall, we've had tough games against the Jazz. You know what I mean? So it's not surprising, but it's still disappointing, especially because we beat them earlier in the season in DC. You know, it was a tough loss. You know, we had a lot of key players missing tonight. We didn't have Porzingis. We didn't have Denny tonight as well. You know what I'm saying? We did get Rui back. You know what I mean? It was good to see Rui back on the floor tonight. And although this was a tough loss, there were some good things that I saw in the game tonight. You know what I mean? But then there were some things that reoccurring themes that lead us to losses. You know what I mean? So, you know, the Wizards are becoming, we know why we're going to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just know there's going to be certain things that happen in Wizards games that usually leads to losses. Or even if we win, the wins are closer than they should be because again, this is the main thing. I'm going to mention it now. The main thing is we cannot concentrate for a full 48 minutes, man. You know what I mean? We played very well. This game was a back and forth game. We had, an 8-point lead. That was the biggest lead we had this game. You know what I mean? We went into halftime up 6 points. You know what I mean? So we showed that we could get a lead, but then we just relinquished the lead. We let the opponent, go on a run, eventually take the lead, and they eventually get the win. I could just sum it up right there because that's exactly what happened again tonight. But I want to get into the details of what occurred. You know what I mean? So since we lost the game tonight, I'm going to start with some of the things that I like. You know what I mean? First off, I felt that we were moving the ball well tonight in various points of the game. You know what I'm saying? We definitely moved the ball well. We definitely got good shots tonight. You know what I mean? The offense wasn't really the problem tonight. Well, in a stretch, and I'll explain that later. But for the most part, the offense wasn't really the problem tonight. You know what I mean? So if the offense wasn't the problem and we lost the game, then that means the defense was the problem. You know what I mean? I felt that we made an emphasis to get to the rim and score in the paint, score closer to the paint. There wasn't as many three-point shots attempted by us tonight, and I definitely like that, especially with Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal had a great game again tonight, and he did a lot of his damage in the mid-range. He's an elite mid-range scorer. I mean, his mid-range has been crazy this year, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely like that we made an emphasis to score in the paint because that's who we are. We're an inside-out team, you know what I mean? So I thought that we definitely scored well in the post tonight. We shot 56% from the field tonight. So the score fit to shoot 56% from the field as a whole, but the Jazz only shot 48.8% from the field. You know, it shows that we were efficient on offense at many points of the game. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, again, we just couldn't sustain. I thought Gafford had a very good game. He's been playing very, very well lately. You know what I'm saying? Now, he started in place of Porzingis tonight. You know what I mean? So that was part of it. He played a strong 20 minutes tonight. Was 13 points, only 2 rebounds. So I definitely didn't like the fact he only had 2 rebounds tonight. You know what I mean? We definitely need more rebounds from the center position. But I just think that he's been effective in the post tonight. I mean, in the paint lately. Been scoring in the paint, been getting good shots. Bradley Beal getting back has been a big help to his offense because Bradley Beal, when he scores in the paint or starts doing his thing in the paint, the opponent has to respect him. And sometimes Gafford's man comes off of him to try to stop Beal from, driving to the paint, and Beal gets an easy alley-oop shot to Gafford. So I definitely like what I saw from Gafford tonight. I thought. And then, Gafford scored 7 of his first 7 of his 12 points in the first quarter as well. You know what I mean? So he started fast, but as the game waned, he wasn't as effective. And part of it was he only got 20 minutes. Taj Gibson had more minutes on the floor than him tonight. And I thought Taj Gibson was okay. He had 6 points, 4 rebounds, but for Taj Gibson to get 25 minutes and Gafford to get 20 minutes, unless he was just winded, Gafford was 6 for 9 from the field. Taj Gibson was a perfect 3 for 3. You know what I'm saying? But I think that Gafford is, he's just more athletic right now in his career compared to Taj Gibson at 38, I think. I think Taj Gibson's 38 years old. You know what I mean? So I think that towards the end of the game, Gafford should have been in there. That's my opinion. I think Gafford should have been in there helping to close out the game. You know what I'm saying? But no knock on Taj Gibson. He wasn't bad tonight. You know what I'm saying? I just think that we would have had more of a defensive presence if Gafford was in the game. But I'm not going to say that's enough for us to have got the win tonight. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that. So, it's a toss-up. It's a matter of opinion. You know what I mean? I also like Kyle Kuzma, just playing a strong game tonight, scoring, rebounding, assisting. When he's doing everything, when he's doing all of that, that's when he plays his best. 21 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. I felt he had more assists. If he's feeling like he has more assists, then when I look at the box score, it's like, oh, he only had 2 assists. But I just think that, him being aggressive, pushing the pace was a good thing. But I was very surprised that he was a negative 21 on the plus minus tonight. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think he played bad. I don't know. I do know that there were key stretches in the game where we let our foot off of the gas. And I think those are the times where the Jazz went on runs. And Kyle Kuzma was on the floor. So that was part of the reason why he had such a bad plus minus tonight. He was the worst on the floor tonight with the plus minus. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely part of it. But I didn't think he played a bad game. And sometimes a plus minus can be misleading. Or other players on the team didn't play well. And he just happened to be on the floor when those players was on the floor. And that did happen tonight. And we'll get into that a little later. Kyle Kuzma had 10 points in the first quarter. So he had 11 points in the rest of the game. So he wasn't as effective, as the game went on. He was only 8 for 18 from the floor. So, part of that negative 21 on the plus minus night was on him. I'm not going to just absolve him of everything. But overall, I didn't think he played as bad as the negative 21 plus minus would lead you to believe. You know what I'm saying? I thought Bradley Beal played a great game tonight. He was assisting well, passing the ball very well. And if he wasn't getting the assist, he was getting the hockey assist. You know what I'm saying? So one way or the other, I thought that he was extremely effective, efficient again from the field, 13 of 20 from the floor, 65% shooting, only attempted 3 3-pointers, didn't make any of them, but I'm loving the fact that he's not forcing 3-point shots. You know what I'm saying? He's taking good shots. You know what I'm saying? And he was perfect from the free throw line. So we always love seeing that. Only had 2 turnovers. 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. That is what we need from Bradley Beal game in and game out. So he gave us what we want from him tonight. Was effective on the defensive end as well. You know what I mean? So he played a very good game, man. 14 points in the second quarter. Had a big second quarter. You know what I'm saying? So I thought he played very well. And I'm liking the way that he's been playing since he's been back in the lineup. You know what I'm saying? And he's definitely the catalyst for what we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Once we get Porzingis back, once we get Delon Wright back, once we get Denny back, get our full complement of players, we're going to be much more effective, and hopefully we'll be able to cut down on this hole we dug for ourselves in the win-loss column, because we need some wins, man. It was disappointing to lose tonight. I was hoping that we could start a winning streak, but we got to go back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? But again, we got a game tomorrow in Sacramento. And we got to get that win. We have to get that win, one way or the other. That's a tough opponent. They've been playing very well this year. But no matter what, we got to get the win. You know what I mean? But I like what Bradley Beal did tonight. We had a 9-0 run in the first quarter. So, again, we started the game well. We let them get back in the game. We pulled away a little bit. It was a back-and-forth game. You know what I'm saying? throughout the game until we got to the fourth quarter. And that's when things started to really unravel. And I'm going to get into that a little later. Rui he was back tonight. Good to see him. And as soon as he got in the game, he made an impact, scored some points. He only had 7 points tonight in 24 minutes, but he had 7 rebounds as well and a steal. You know what I mean? So, he's got to get himself back into playing shape, get his, legs back under him. But it was very good to see him hitting that mid-range jumper, rebounding very well, being that versatile player that he was off the bench earlier in the season when he was going on a streak of 10 plus points. It seemed like he scored 10 plus points every game off the bench. You know what I mean? So once we get our players back, get Denny back, Corey Kispert coming off the bench, DeLon Wright coming off the bench to back up the point guard and the 2-guard position. Rui getting his legs back under him. Just strengthening our bench, because right now, to be honest, our bench isn't as good as it needs to be, and it's really causing us to have some scoring droughts, and I think that's really what occurred tonight, and that's when we started to lose a grip on this game. You know what I mean? Especially when Beal went out. You know what I mean? We just couldn't sustain, but we need our bench back in order for us to be able to sustain, because Bradley's not Superman. We need him on the floor, but he's not Superman. He needs to get a rest, and we can't have a big let-up like that just because he's not on the floor. You know what I mean? So we need our bench back, but it was good to see Rui. I thought Goodwin came off the bench, had some good minutes for us. He scored a good 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and had a block. You know what I mean? So again, man, just quality play from Jordan Goodwin. You know what I'm saying? I definitely like what I saw from him coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? I thought our second quarter offense was extremely efficient. I felt we played our best basketball tonight in the second quarter, and that coincided with Bradley Beal getting hot in the second quarter. You know what I'm saying? But Bradley Beal didn't force shots. He, passed the ball, but he's hard to guard. Mid-range is crazy. Gets to the basket, draws fouls. He's a great player, man. Bradley Beal's a great player, man. You know what I'm saying? And if he keeps playing like this and we get our team all the way together, I don't want to say that yet, man. I don't want to say. He has to prove. He's still got a lot to do in order for me to move him up to that elite tier of superstar that could carry a team. You know what I'm saying? I still don't think he's that championship leader that the organization wants us to believe, but it's been very clear that since he's been back, our offense has been running much more efficiently. You know what I mean? So we got to give him credit for that. I thought Corey Kispert played well he started tonight in place of Denny Avdia. Again, he's just a very smart player on the floor. Doesn't really do too many dumb things. There's times, again, he misses big threes, that wide open threes, momentum killing threes. That's something he has to work on. Not to say he doesn't hit the 3 ball, but it seems like when we really need a 3, he doesn't hit that 3. You know what I mean? That 3 that we need when we need it. He doesn't hit it as consistent as we would like. You know what I mean? So he has to get better at that. But regardless of that, he played a good game tonight. He had 12 points tonight. He scored all his 12 points in the first half. So he was quiet in the second half. We need more from him throughout the game. Again, this is a problem the Wizards have. They start the game well, but then they have lapses. They can't stay focused for a full 48. A player might have a very hot start and then just disappear, and that's what happened with Corey Kispert tonight, man. I'm surprised he only had 12 points for the game. I felt he did more in the second half, but apparently he didn't. You know what I'm saying? But 12 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, hit a big 3 at the end of the second quarter, buzzer beating half-court shot. You know what I mean? So, I thought he played decent tonight. And we had a 39-point second quarter. Again, our second quarter was a great second quarter all the way around. Ball movement, Beal getting hot, players getting good shots. It was a great second quarter. Unfortunately, a theme of this Wizards season, the theme of the Wizards, period, is they can't sustain. They could play a good quarter, maybe even a good half, maybe even a good 3 quarters, but cannot play a great 4 quarters. that's the biggest thing with the Wizards. They got to get better at that, man. In the first half, we had a 32-20 advantage in the points in the paint. So we definitely, again, played to our strength, points in the paint. We also pushed the pace tonight, had a 19-3 fast break point advantage in the first half as well. And we shot 58.7% from the field in the first half. You know what I'm saying? What was that first? Yeah, in the first half. And we ended the game 56.1% from the field. So again, our offense was not the problem overall. There were lapses where we couldn't score, but we shot over 50% for the game. You know what I mean? So that's what you would like. We didn't shoot the ball well from the three-point line. We were only 7 for 21, 33.3%, versus the Jazz's 45.7%, 16 for 35 from the three-point line. So that's definitely, we lost the game by 8. So really, that was really the difference in the game, the three-point line. You know what I'm saying? So that's everything I liked about the game. I think if we tweaked a little bit here and there, stayed a little focused, a little more focused throughout the game, we could have got this win. It was back and forth until the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? So, but there were a lot of things I didn't like about tonight's game as well, and we're going to get started there. So I thought the Jazz got points in the paint as well. Although we dominated the points in the paint tonight, I still think we let the Jazz score too many points, too many easy points. Let me say that. Too many easy points, and some of those points were in the paint. So I definitely didn't like that. Colin Sexton came back tonight for the Jazz. I think he was out for the last 7 games, and he made an impact. He made a big impact tonight, man. He had 3 goaltending field goals tonight in the first quarter. Driving to the basket, Gafford trying to block some shots, and just got there a little bit too late. But he also had a big fourth quarter as well. He ended the fourth quarter with 18 points. He ended the game with 18 points. Was a plus 12 on the floor tonight off the bench. 18 points, 1 rebound. You know what I mean? So he just really gave him a lot of points tonight. Just gave him a lot of points. Very tough, very fast, very aggressive. 11 points in the first quarter. Hit some big shots at the end of the third quarter. It just was a big impact for the Jazz, and he really contributed and helped them get the win tonight. You know what I'm saying? Marketing was also hot from the field, especially in the first quarter. He ended the game with 21 points, 5 rebounds, and assists. He was a plus 22 on the floor tonight, so he was a big deal for them again tonight. So I definitely didn't like that. The Jazz's bench dominated our bench tonight. You know what I'm saying? Let me look real quick. Let's see. Their bench 25, 18, 43. So their bench had 45 points tonight, and our bench had 15, 21, 28, 31. You know what I mean? 31 points off the bench for us. 43, 45 for them, you know what I mean? So they dominated us on the bench as well, so that was a big reason why they got the win. Again, we're shorthanded. We got too many players hurt, especially Porzingis, a key cog to what we're trying to do. Denny, our defender on the wing, you know what I mean? Maybe could have helped us out, especially with Beasley getting hot for the Jazz tonight. And, DeLon Wright, we need help on the perimeter on the defensive end as well. So, it was clear tonight that the Jazz's bench, what a bench could do for a team. You know what I mean? Especially for the Jazz. And we need our bench to come and help us get wins. You know what I mean? So definitely didn't like the fact that we got dominated on the bench tonight. Also, our three-point defense wasn't good, up to par. Again, the Jazz beat us from the three-point line tonight. 16 threes made. You know what I mean? 45% shooting from the three-point line is definitely tough to overcome, and we just couldn't overcome that tonight, especially in the fourth quarter. They got hot in the fourth quarter, and it just seemed they were hitting 3 after 3 after 3, and it really just opened the game up for them, and we just couldn't get the win. You know what I mean? Beasley off the bench. Malik Beasley was a big problem for us tonight. He ended the game with 25 points off the bench, plus 6 on the floor. 25 points off the bench. can't let a player score 25 off the bench. That's a start. That's starter numbers. 25 points off the bench. So again, man, Beasley was a problem for us tonight, man. Short-handed, couldn't play defense on the perimeter. Beasley just was doing whatever he wanted at times tonight, which was very discouraging and very disappointing. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like that. I thought Will Barton, man, took some bad shots tonight. Too many quick shots. Things that we complain about in regards to Will Barton. Terrible game tonight, man. He was a negative 20 on the floor tonight, man. Only Kyle Kuzma had a negative, higher plus, a worse plus minus. And again, I was saying earlier with Kuzma, sometimes he's on the floor with a player that is helping to cause that negative 21 plus minus. And he was on the floor with with Barton tonight, especially. And that's just where I feel we lost the game tonight. At the beginning of the fourth quarter, Barton on the floor, Beal on the bench. The game was close, but then we let the Jazz had a 5-point lead. And I'm like, but you could see the momentum was going to the Jazz. I gotta blame Unseld for this. Like, you gotta call a timeout, and maybe, I know you wanna have, stagger Beal's minutes, let him get some rest, and eventually put him back in for the stretch run. But when you see that the team you're playing is going on a run, and the momentum is going to them, sometimes you gotta abandon your plan and you gotta call that timeout and you gotta get Beal in the game. You gotta get Beal in the game. I just felt that's when we lost the game. That's the key moment when we lost the game, was when Bradley Beal was on the bench at the beginning of the fourth quarter and the Jazz started to get the momentum. Sometimes you just got to have a better feel for the game, and you got to put the best player in the game. Beal was keeping a steady in the offensive end, keeping the game close, but once he got out, especially at the beginning of the fourth quarter, that's when we lost the game. You know what I'm saying? That's when we lost the game, and Barton was a big part of that because he was taking bad shots. Just not effective tonight, man. Just not effective. Clarkson hit some big threes for them as well. He's a Wizards killer at times when we play him. You know what I'm saying? So he hit some big threes in the second quarter for the Jazz. I thought the Jazz started the third quarter scoring way too easily. So I definitely didn't like that. Kessler, their rookie, their center. Again, man, Porzingis not being there, although he's not the most physical presence in the paint, his height alone can cause issues. And I thought that Kessler was a big contributor for the Jazz tonight. He ended the game 12 points, 14 rebounds. Damn. 12 points, 14 rebounds, 2 blocks, a plus 16 on the floor tonight, man. So, again, man, dominated us on the paint. Just a 5 for 7 from the floor, you know what I'm saying? But he dominated us in the paint tonight, but I definitely didn't like that. Again, man, Gafford only 2 rebounds. Taj Gibson, how many rebounds he had? Taj Gibson had only 4 rebounds. Kessler by himself had 14 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds. So again, man, key plays. We weren't strong enough in the post. He's a rookie, mind you, and he dominated us in the paint tonight, man. So very disappointing, and was a part of the reason we lost the game tonight, man. We were outscored 33-24 in the third quarter. So again, you already started to feel the momentum starting to shift to the Jazz going into the fourth quarter. So just seeing that, okay, I can understand maybe not starting Beal in the fourth, see where it goes. But once the Jazz go up 5, you got to call the timeout then. I know they score another 3, they go up 8, and then we call the timeout and get Beal back in the game. I know 3 points, 1 field goal may seem like a little, but I just feel like that key sequence was a big turning point in the game, man. So very disappointing. But you saw in the third quarter that the Jazz started to get their groove on offense and started to hit the threes, started to get good shots. Unfortunately, we couldn't combat that, and we took an L, man. We took an L. the Jazz eventually go up double digits in the fourth quarter. It took them to the fourth quarter to go up double digits. Again, the game was back and forth. So we had a good chance to win the game. But again, I just think that in the fourth quarter, especially at the beginning, not putting Bill back in when we really needed him was a big coaching blunder, and it really helped us lose the game tonight. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, our 3-point defense, especially in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? So that's everything I didn't like about tonight's game, and all the things that I mentioned, especially the dominance of Kessler in the paint, Colin Sexton getting hot off the bench, Beasley getting hot off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Their bench dominating our bench is, all those are really the reasons we lost the game tonight. And 3-point defense, man. You know what I'm saying? So we played we had a good effort. We had a good offense, but we just couldn't get over the hump, man. So, unfortunately, we didn't get the win. Very upset about it, man. But anyway, man, that's all I got for y'all tonight, man. If y'all enjoyed the show, I would really appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel at the Wizards Review on YouTube. You can also follow us on Twitter at Wizards Review. You can follow me, King Ade DMV, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and on the Xbox Series X and S on NBA 2K23. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, we got a game tomorrow, back-to-back, going back to Cali. Going back to Cali. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we can get this win and come back home feeling good about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So until next game, man, enjoy the evening. Have a good night. Take care. Peace.